Now, traders at Axis Bank say they expect the fixed income market to open on a quiet note this week, despite plans by the Central Bank of Nigeria to conduct an NTB auction of 143 billion naira. Bosun Obembe, FX and derivatives trader at Axis Bank, joins me for a market update. Bosun, thank you so much for taking the time out to join us today. Let's get right to it. Bring us up to speed on trading so far today at the various market segments, starting with the money market.
Thank you, Esther, for having me. Just like you mentioned, today attention has been focused on the NTB auction. So in terms of the money market, throughout this month, we witnessed a lot of illiquidity. All through last week, the market was in repo. Even on Friday, when we had the CBN retail SMIS auction, the bank was still in repo. Market opened with a repo of 137 billion. Today, and this week, we expect similar trend, as we don't expect any maturity coming into the system come and pushing this illiquidity. So most market participants are actually funding their transaction from the CBN window. The reason for this is because we don't have homo maturity or any inflow coming to the system, and most corporates by June ending, they pay the tax. So, and the tax, the tax doesn't come into the system, it goes into the TSA account. So that has been the major reason why we've been seeing this illiquidity. So market has been trading at 14%, double-digit level. So, and we still expect that to continue this week. For today on the fixed income space, attention has been focused on the NTB auction. We are not seeing a lot of activity happening in the market, even as we know that what dictates the market is the liquidity, and the liquidity is not there. So due to this illiquidity, in the secondary market, we've been seeing the short hand trading at as high as 10%, 9%. So as a result of this, for today's auction, we expect the stop rate on the long end to actually close higher than the previous auction. Previous auction, the stop rate closed at 6.07, but today, I think we'll get as high as 7.9 or 8%. So on the bond as well, market is quiet. We have the large bid offer spread. We have a lot of counterparty quoting very high bid, so and which is not being matched. So market is still very liquid and calm.
Back to the NTB auction, the 143.3 billion across 3 tenures. If we do see higher rates, but what about subscription levels? What are your forecasts? Usually, from time to time, I want to say mostly they're usually oversubscribed. But in terms of subscription levels, what are you forecasting?
I expect that it will be oversubscribed because there are some customers and investors that based on their portfolio allocation, they are meant to actually allocate part of their portfolio to NTB. So this is the reason why we see 143 billion that is maturing today will be rolled over, and we expect there will be a bit of oversubscription due to the high level at which NTB is going for. Though the oversubscription, I don't expect the bid to cover to be as high as 2, maybe slightly oversubscribed at the auction, because the liquidity to actually buy to actually settle this transaction is not there. So that's what will cause the bid to cover not to be that high as it used to be.
When you think about the highlights from the previous quarter and the way this quarter is progressing, I know that we're still in the early stages of this new quarter. What similarities are you seeing so far? Or are things pretty much the same in terms of the liquidity issues, investor appetites, the investment play on the part of investors, particularly the institutional investors, etc.?
Also, in terms of this quarter, I think we'll see an improvement this quarter. Last quarter, in May and June, we didn't really see a lot of liquidity maturing into the system. But for this quarter, at least this month, next week, there is a bond auction, and we have about 243 billion in coupon payment coming next week as well. So we have a lot of inflow coming into the system. And, as we are moving towards the election year, so we see a lot of spending coming into the system. However, if you look at the most central banks, they've been this tightening stance. So even if you have this liquidity coming into the system, we'll still see the CBN coming with policy to actually mop up this excess liquidity, maybe